Bienvenidos, amigos, and welcome back to another episode of the More Life Diaries podcast. This is a podcast, so it'll be us sitting here talking about our experience living in beautiful Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. We're also going to cover some of our latest videos. So if you like the content, please make sure to hit the subscribe button. If you have any questions, hit the comment section down below, and don't forget to follow us on social media. We're very responsive there. Facebook, Instagram, email us at morelifediaries@gmail.com. We love to talk with you guys. Let's get right into it. Mic check, mic check.
Mic check, mic check.
We recording?
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us, a podcast. It's been a while as usual. We've been switching things up a little bit and doing less content in podcast forms and just putting them out more so as regular videos. We really want to keep the podcast to more so like a conversation between Kathleen and I, where we really go over just our life here, not so structured, just kind of talk about what's going on and laugh about maybe previous videos a little bit. So I'm sure you guys saw our videos about us leaving PV. Sorry for the catfish, the clickbait stuff. So yeah, obviously we are leaving PV for a short term.
We're going to visiting our old home.
Yeah. So we're going away for a little bit. We will be back. We promise you guys. We're subletting our apartment here. So we're having a friend stay over, which is great. And yeah, we'll come back to exactly this once we're back. So you guys don't have to worry. We're not leaving PV. But yeah, it has been our plan since we moved here to kind of reverse, not snowbird, but visit once a year. Family, friends, especially those that can't come here, for health reasons or otherwise. But we do want to make the trip back every single year, maybe for a month, maybe for shorter, maybe for longer. We don't know yet, but I think it's our plan going forward.
Definitely. It's very nice to be able to go back as it's starting to heat up here. It seems like overnight we went from sleeping with the windows open to now, at night we need the AC. Yeah. It just gets really hot and humid. So going back to Canada, Toronto is also hot and humid, but just not in the same way. As a little bit of a break from the heat is really nice.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And we're excited to see friends. We're excited to see family. We do have some stuff to take care of. So we're actually going back to also sell our home in Toronto. Mm-hmm. It's been up for sale / rent a couple of times, and we ended up renting it both times. So now we're going back to just fully clean it, put it up for sale. We want to part ways with it. And, it's just another step towards fully transitioning into living here in Mexico. So we're very excited for that. Bittersweet. To let go of the home that we loved a lot at some point. Yeah. But we're definitely ready to part ways with that and to invest the money elsewhere. So yeah, that's a whole lot of work. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be done in regards to that, and especially if we want to invest here. But yeah, we're happy that we're finally taking the steps to do it. Well, technically, we've tried to take the steps before, and it just ended up getting rented twice. Basically, the market wasn't what it used to be. So, yeah, very exciting, but there's a lot of work that awaits us in Toronto. So it's not only going to be fun and laughter. Yeah, it's going to be some challenging moments, to say the least. So yeah, that is our plan. Also, we'd like to eventually not only travel back and forth, to Toronto, but get to travel a little bit more within Mexico and other surrounding countries. But definitely Mexico, there's so many places that we want to go that we haven't had the chance to visit. I know a lot of you comment down below, your favorite places or where you live in Mexico. And we're writing all of those down because we plan on seeing them all eventually.
We're going to knock on your door.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
We've heard a lot of great things recently about La Paz or Baja Sur in the northern part of Mexico. So we're really excited to get to explore there. I mean, you guys are really hyping that area up, those who live there. So that's definitely up there on our list. Obviously, if you live there or if you've been there, comment down below and let us know how you feel, what you think,
Where to stay?
what else is going on.
Um,
So another thing that we wanted to bring up is kind of in relation to our previous video about everyone leaving Puerto Vallarta. But more specifically, before we get into that actual video, just, friends that are leaving that we did mention in that video. But when we go back to Toronto, when we come back, they will not be here because, very close friends that we've been hanging out with, that the kids are friends with. And yeah, a lot of things are going to change when we do end up coming back. So that's kind of bittersweet as well, especially for the kids. They have some great friends. So that'll be a little bit hard to deal with.
Yeah, and it's hard to see and explain, to Bassi that when he goes back to school next year, it's going to be like a whole another class because a lot of his friends that were there will not be there. And yeah, it is hard. It's sad. It's sad to say goodbye, but I know everyone's kind of moving on to the next chapter, moving forward. So, it's how it goes. Hopefully we keep in touch.
Yeah.
And
things will be different. Yeah. And it's hard to explain to kids. I think Bassi is very good at like understanding those types of things. We've obviously had to leave Canada. We've had to go through this before, but it's still very difficult. He still gets sad, having to leave friends or the thought of his friends right now leaving the class to go to another school or whatever. So yeah, it's very, very difficult. Again, it's just one of those things in life that you have to deal with. And as a parent that you have to explain to your kids. And it is very, very hard.
Yeah. My heart breaks when I see his sad little face talking about it.
Segueing into our last video about the reality of people leaving Puerto Vallarta. So again, we said in the video, like, this is very personal to us because we know, I said 4 to 5 and then 5 to 6. I think it's probably even more than that. Just people we know or friends that we've had that have left PV. So for those that are commenting, like,
what are your stats?
What are your stats? Facts? Whatever. We made it very clear that this is, as all our videos are personal to our experience. I mean, stats, do you want me to survey the families that are leaving?
I mean, I think the concern was that there are also still a lot of people coming in here and that, probably, true. But we're also seeing a big wave of people that we hang out with that are leaving. So, I mean, I'm sure, yes, there are still people coming in and that's always going to be.
And we're meeting people coming in all the time. That's just like the cycle of life and being a foreigner in a country. Like people come and people go, but our episode wasn't about that. Our episode was about our friends leaving PV.
And why.
Yeah, quite literally. And all of those reasons apply. Now, funny enough, and this was in the comments, like people are defending PV and offended. None of the reasons in the video are PV specific. So no one that we know has left here, with the exception of probably the heat in the summertime. No one is leaving because they've had a bad experience here. No one's leaving
like a direct bad experience from PV. Yeah. And maybe their experience because of their own situation was bad and it didn't work out here. Like they just couldn't make it work, couldn't find, a job or whatever it may be. But it's not reflective of the actual city. Yeah. It's more of their own situation.
Which is kind of reassuring if you do live here and you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna hit the comment section. I need to defend PV. No, you should look at it as like, if you're making it work here, if you're happy here, if you're earning money here, it's wonderful. No one's leaving because they don't like it. Everyone absolutely loves it. Everyone is sad when they leave. They're not looking forward to going back to Toronto or wherever they came from for the most part, right? They're always looking to, um, I guess, just move on for some people.
Mm-hmm.
Some people want to go back and maybe move back eventually. Some people have left and moved back. So we look at it more so as like, yeah, we're in the right place, and everyone has their specific reasons for leaving. It doesn't apply to us. We're confident in our choice. Um, we're not insecure about, our decision to live here at all. So whatever other people do, and other people worry about, it doesn't really affect us. I wouldn't let our video keep you away from coming to PV if that's your dream, if that's what you want to do. I would use it as quite the opposite. As like we mentioned, everyone that comes here absolutely loves it here. If you come here and you don't love it here and you move on, then it's a learning experience and you got to experience what it is like to live here. So there's no bad in that video or in coming here and moving out. Like, it's not a negative thing.
I would say to the people watching that video who are thinking of coming here, I mean, what you can take from it is, maybe these are reasons that it didn't work out for people. And, I think we have videos talking about like what you should do if you want to come here, look for work first, figure it out a little bit before you make the move, so that it's easier when you're here and you're now making that transition. A lot of that, like there are things to consider in that video if you are planning to move here, potential challenges that you might face. And so I do think it is, important to watch if you are thinking to come here, like what could possibly make me have to return home or want to return home or want to find a new place. I mean, even something like the heat, hearing that people find it, unbearably hot in the summer and you don't like the heat, or that you just have whatever reactions or something, then you might want to consider another place, or, come visit in the summer and see what it's really like. So I do think that there is value for people who are thinking to come here to watch it and like, understand what could potentially throw a wrench in their plans, right?
And again, like the episode wasn't based on statistics at all. It's based on conversations and real life events that we've observed, and talking to the friends that are leaving and understanding why they're leaving and what's motivating them to go. So everything we share here is just us being transparent about our experience. And let's talk about, just moving on to the episode absolutely blew up. I was a little bit like shook about it because within the first 24 hours, it had like 15,000+ views. Our episodes typically don't do that. Like, they are getting more and more views, which is good. We're growing bits by bits. We have a great community. Everyone that hits the subscribe button, we greatly appreciate. But, when a video blows up like that, there's all sorts of crazy comments, people going at it in the comments. And it's just really interesting for this specific videos, just to kind of give you guys like our train of thought again. It was just about being transparent about what's happening now, where, we're seeing towards the end of the school year, a lot of people leaving. But also I was like, what kind of thumbnail should I do for this video? What kind of title should I do for this video? So I think the title was People Are Leaving, PV, accurate. Here's Why, also accurate. The thumbnail, I was like, let me go as clickbaity, dramatic as possible. Let's test this thing out. And I'm like, everybody's leaving Puerto Vallarta. Obviously silly. Why would everybody be leaving any location? That doesn't even make sense, really. But it was just kind of like, I wanted to make it as clickbaity, as dramatic as possible, and see what the impact of it is. And it's really interesting to see that people do like negative titles. People do like negative thumbnails. It's just really interesting. Like, some people even get mad, like in the comments, not everybody's leaving PV. Like, what is this clickbait thumbnail? Obviously not everyone's leaving, but it was just like a way to make it as dramatic as possible. Obviously works. It's obviously something that was related to the video as well. So It's not like it was a clickbait out of context, but it's just really interesting. Like we're on YouTube. We don't take things too seriously. We're experimenting with thumbnails and titles as long as they're honest and they are related to our videos. So we're just having fun, and for people to get offended over that, like, find something to do, friend. A new hobby, perhaps. Like, whoever's offended at any thumbnail or title.
And you guys, if you watch any of our videos, you know we love it here. We've said it already in this video several times.
Some people have said, like, we're so sorry you're leaving and you guys don't like it here. Like, we never mentioned that in the video. We mentioned every single video that we absolutely love it here, and like we're planning on being here for a long time. So it was just funny to get reactions from some random people on the internet. Amongst the other comments, which maybe we'll get into like a Q&A type of other video, but a lot of gentrification comment when it comes to cost of living. That's to be expected. A lot of bye gringos, which is to be expected.
They're always mixed in with don't call yourselves gringos because you're Canadian.
Or don't expat talk. You're not an expat, you're an immigrant. There are both expats and immigrants.
We are immigrants. We label ourselves as that.
I wouldn't consider a snowbird an immigrant. I would probably consider them more so an expat. But foreigners, we use foreigners because it just kind of
covers everyone.
Yeah, it covers, like the umbrella term, foreigner. What other comments were interesting? Obviously, people bashing PV, like, oh yeah, no one should live, like just the craziest stuff. So hit the comment section in that video. Forget the video. Hit the comment section in the video. It's a good read. Again, we're never offended. We don't take things too seriously. Like, if someone doesn't like PV and decides to comment down, like, do it. You're free to comment down below. Everyone, has different experiences. We absolutely love PV. If you don't like it, I'm not going to go to war with you. I don't care, to be honest. Everyone is, free to engage. But yeah, a lot of crazy stuff too that I had to delete or block. So our first time experiencing that kind of volume on a video with like that kind of crazy comments,
divisive comments,
but also a lot of really good comments. A lot of people had really good inputs on why they might have left PV or on why they won't leave PV and live here,
and why things are changing changing in PV, or just changing people. Things are changing like back home for foreigners, so that can cause things to change their situation here.
And that's an important point to note, that things are changing. But everyone wants to hold to what places used to be. That's not a thing, it's always changing. And a lot of people want to blame specific people for that change, but it's all multi-factored.
Yeah, a lot of people are in the comments, not just this video, but other ones, and Facebook groups. You see that, like, this kind of comment that foreigners are coming in and driving the prices up, and that might be true to some. There might be some impact from the foreigners, but I think this is happening all over the world. We're seeing it in Canada. I know people are seeing it in the United States and in other countries. This is a worldwide thing.
A lot of people, they just look at where they are now, and they don't really consider other places that are going through the same thing. And we can tell you, being from Canada, having a lot of people that we know, and always learning new things about the United States, it's going on there. About Mexico, it's going on there as well. So it's happening everywhere, and it's not necessarily always because of gentrification or foreigners coming in or a lot more tourists coming in. It's literally, there's a lot of factors to consider to that. It's a very narrow-minded thing to think that it's only one group of people causing this.
And in defense of foreigners, I'm not just saying this because I'm one, but they're not coming in, we're not coming in being like, I would like to pay the most for this apartment.
Take all of my money.
I want to like price out any other competition. Like, is there other competition for your apartment? Who knows? They're pretty much going around being like, what's the price for this? Somebody gives them that price and they're just like, okay. Cause in our culture, we don't really bargain rent prices. So we don't question it. If that's so someone's telling us this is how much, we're like, okay. So that's
It's
what's
kind of
happening
like-
here. And like, sometimes the landlords are other gringos, sometimes they're local Mexicans, but I mean, I don't know how the renters are getting the full blame of paying too high prices, and the people that are giving them those prices are completely let off the hook.
Yeah,
So-
there is, you know, especially as more foreigners come in, like there's the question of greed. Like if your cost as an owner or as the owner of a business, if your costs aren't going up, but your prices are going up, that means you want to increase your profit margins. And that's a question of greed. Like, oh, you're the one trying to take advantage of people. Well, that's an issue, right?
I mean, at the end of the day, if it's your property, you could price it
Do what
at
you
whatever
want,
you
yeah.
want. But I mean, if you're pointing the finger and saying, oh, it's your fault, things are going higher. Well,
Yeah.
who's charging those prices?
Yeah.
And why are they charging those prices? Do they have a mortgage, or are they just being like, you know what, I think this person can pay this outrageous amount, so I'm going to charge it to them.
Yeah.
And, you know, like our apartment we looked around on Facebook and saw that everything similar was around the same price. And if we tell people how much we're paying, they say that's crazy. That's too much. But, you know,
There is nothing else.
Yeah,
There's
I mean,
no other option.
we tell people on their street
Yeah.
that, but I'm like, isn't it your family that's charging
Yeah.
us? So I don't know. Like,
Yeah, like can you guys offer us a better deal if we stay by you?
We're not stuck on it. You can lower it if you want.
Yeah, and a message we often give in our informative type of videos is to get to know the prices. Like, do your homework, look into stuff. How much should meals cost? How much should tacos cost? How much should groceries cost? Apartments, taxi fare, all of those things. Like, really get to know the cost of living here and what it should be, and live your life accordingly. But if people are taking advantage of you and there's no other options, that's just something you have to accept. You're going to live here, and it's unfortunate that, like in our case, where we live very local lives or very low key, we try to spend our money in local businesses as much as possible. We take the blame for gentrification and cost of living prices for Mexicans going up. Like, yeah, like you guys are the ones selling us stuff.
No, but we see it. It's happening in Canada. Like everything is more expensive.
A lot more expensive. The prices are going up. Inflation, crazy. So yeah,
it's happening everywhere.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, I think
hard.
the inflation is one thing, and then, you know, minimum wage goes up, which makes other things go up as well, unless businesses want to take the brunt of that increase. You know, there's a lot of factors that are happening, and they're not just happening here, they're happening everywhere. Yeah. And it is just, you know, when you see comments like, I just want all the tourists to leave or all the foreigners to leave, and it's like a town like Puerto Vallarta, which is, you know,
employs a lot of people.
I think the biggest
in the tourist, the
economy here is based on tourism. So I don't know how that would work out for you if
like
everyone just left.
People make money from tourism, then they spend money to support, you know, local businesses. Like a lot of the money here is coming from tourism. Someone would want all the tourism to leave, then they would have.
What's the plan after that? Like, I don't know. Like, you're just complaining.
You think it's expensive now. Like, wait until there's no money flowing, then things are going to get really crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, just some of the comments are absolutely insane. But again, we're just here doing our thing. Our goal, obviously, is to speak positively about where we absolutely love living. We have very little negative to actually say, and just to share our experiences. Like that video, people are leaving. It's part of our reality. We'll keep sharing those types of things with you guys.
Because once again, this is the More Life Diaries.
Yeah.
It's a diary of our experience here. Yeah. We're not coming in saying this is fact. We're not coming in with stats or bar graphs or percentages. This is just our experience. And we're sharing it for whatever it's worth to people out there. If you're interested in what it's like here, we can tell you from our perspective. But it by no means it doesn't mean at all that it's going to be everyone's experience. Of course, depending on who you are, if you're coming as a family, a single or whatever, where you choose to live, how you choose to live, it's going to vary, right? So like anywhere in the world. So it's just our diaries.
Our diaries, our experience. When you're making a move like this, like don't be insecure or scared about it. You really need to be sure in yourself, especially when it comes to selling everything you have and moving abroad. Yeah, just like be very sure that that's something you want to do for those that are thinking about it. Obviously, your home country and your home, if you're keeping it, will always be there for you. If you decide to go back, if you do hold on to it. But again, like just be sure in yourself. Like don't watch YouTube videos to try to justify, how you want to feel or what you're feeling. Like just be really sure, do your due diligence, do your research, and follow through. And it's a great experience. I can tell you, in our experience, it's been life changing, transforming. Yeah, we don't want to live without this anymore. So we're going to keep pushing forward in PV, learning new things every day, putting out videos. And we hope you guys that join us for the journey. Anything else?
No.
Guys, thank you for tuning in. Drop a comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't already and you like the content. Check out all of our other content. We got a lot of cool, fun stuff, I think. And we'll catch you guys in the next episode. This is our journey. More Life Diaries. Peace.